basically, I posed the question earlier. Just what would you do as a filmmaker if your contributor had already signed a release form and given their consent for you to use what they say and what they do in your film, but then maybe reveal something because they've got very comfortable with you that they didn't initially want to reveal, and they then ask you not to include that in your film, because what if that was then a turning point in your film and maybe changed the way that basically sort of like an ethical dilemma, because what if it incriminated them or endangered other people? How would you go about that? Because would you have a moral obligation to then include that information?
Well, this is a great question, and well done. You framed it from both ends. So the ethics aren't just about not including it, but the ethics of the ethics of inclusion and non-inclusion. There's no innocent place in this sort of discussion. Okay, do you have a specific example in mind, or do you want me to talk you through one?
Well, not really. There's a couple of examples, I guess, maybe.
Yeah.
But Tiger King on Netflix, that new like docudrama.
So I haven't watched it through myself, but go ahead.
It just raised ethical questions with me, because I think there's parts of it where I'm not even sure that the contributors know that he's filming them, and then he'll say on camera, "Oh, this is off the record," and then say it, but it's obviously been shown on film, and I'm wondering, did he ever get consent for that?
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's related. There are a couple of things here. So it's a film called Afghansy, and what happened was a Russian general. It's about the coming kind of withdrawal of Russian troops from Afghanistan, and a Russian general, if he's a general, he's a very senior officer anyway, basically criticizes Russian policy there. Now, Peter recorded that, and in a way that's a kind of gift to a filmmaker in that exchange, because it's a very significant story point. Now, that officer said something that was likely to lose him his job and or worse. This was still the days of the Soviet Union. It's just before the collapse of the Soviet Union, and the consequences are could be very severe. Peter knew that using that material would be liable to put this person at risk, significant risk. But then, to follow the way that you, Ellie, have framed it, would it be more unethical not to use it? And he decided the latter.
Okay.
He said, this is a guy in a public position. He knows exactly what he's doing. It's very unusual to talk to a foreign film crew in the days of the Soviet Union. He'd agreed to do that, and he decided on their last day of filming to say this highly critical thing, explosive thing. Now, if he didn't use it, that would be, this is Peter now speaking, that would be completely patronizing and would undermine the journalism, and in that sense the integrity of the film. So that's one aspect of the answer. Another aspect would be, if I'm interviewing someone and they say, "Can I tell you something off the record?" Of course you're going to say yes, because you're super interested, aren't you, the moment someone says that. But if the agreement is that it's off the record, that is the agreement. To answer your question, I personally wouldn't use material that I didn't have permission to use, with the exception of if you're exposing corruption in the earlier example I gave, where sometimes the whole rationale, for example, of secret filming or concealed filming relies on what we call a public interest argument. But there's a difference here between what's in the public interest and what the public are interested in. So you've got to look at a case-by-case basis and weigh up the arguments about why you're doing what you're doing. But as a rule of thumb, unless you're dealing with corruption, don't use it if you don't have permission.
Okay, thank you.